We're at an author day in Sacramento, and we were invited by Marcy Seither, who knew the teacher there whose daughter is married to her son, to Del Paso Manor Elementary School. What a day, you guys. It was absolutely phenomenal. Oh, and I have something here I want to just show you real quick, and then we're going to show you a few pictures. But the kids made this. Their kindergarten teacher read. Can you help me here, Lori?
Yeah.
This wonderful, humongous poster. Isn't that sweet? And they all made their own button for the Nana's Tin of Buttons book. I was so touched. I'm very impressed. There is not a single button on there the same. So thank you. And we're going to show you a couple of pictures. We're a little crinkly here. Of the school and the students. Thank you, Austin. There's a couple photographs of the first assembly, and the school is in Sacramento off of Watt Avenue. There we go. Welcome to Del Paso Manor. It was so sweet. They had 2 assemblies in the morning. We were there all day. Marcy Seither and Jeanette Hanscom and Sue Peppers. And here's one side of the cafeteria for the first assembly, and there's the other side. And then they came back and we did a short intro, and we're all different authors. Marcy wrote The Adventures of Pearlie Monroe, which the third or fourth grade class there helped her with. And this was me. You can tell I'm happy. I was like, yay! And I'm wearing my button necklace made from my own tin. And this is the book. I got to show it to you because I'm leaving this with Sue here. This was just, their teacher had read them, the kindergarten teacher had read it, and oh the gosh, the kids were so sweet. Look at this. One of the little girls had drawn this for me. And had it ready, and one of the little boys made this cute little box.
Oh, that is
just
beautiful.
It's beautifully made. Amazing children. I am telling you, America, you are blessed because you have future authors, you have future newscasters, you have future illustrators and artists and filmmakers, and I was just amazed. So thank you, Del Paso Manor Elementary School. You are wonderful. And I hope that they have other authors visit them sometime soon, too. So now we're going to get into today's show, and I'm going to introduce Lori Sinclair on my right.
Hello.
This is Lori. She's an author. And they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves after I go through the round. And on my left over here is Carlita Cole Kelly, another lovely author. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
And Jane, who miraculously made it here on time, Jane Daly. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And Jane has a book coming out any day. And we are all Inspire Writers. It's a Christian group in Sacramento. I have amateur writers up here also, but I am also a part of Inspire Writers. I'm a former Sacramento Christian Writers member. So we're going to start with Lori on the right. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I started out writing business books. And it's a very unique niche market for medical insurance billing and coding and reimbursement. But I got a lot of success there because only, very specific people look for that type of book. So I didn't have to do very much advertising or marketing or anything. And then through actually a Bible study at church, I discovered my love for fiction. So I started writing fiction books, and then I have this book that just came out a couple of months ago. Yeah, it's called The Prison of Zen. Thank you. It is a story about some children that make some bad choices and end up in some very unique circumstances. And they find out through their journey that they're not alone, that, there's angels here to help us, and that there's a way out. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to write. Our writers group, Jane's in our writers group, we had a lot of fun.
So you're in critique group together?
She's been through the whole thing. So
from manuscript chapter to finished.
To finished product,
Wow.
right?
Product,
yeah.
yeah.
It was a fun journey. It was a fun journey.
Thank you. I thought it was fun.
And how long did it take you?
Oh, gosh. I started it and stopped a couple of times. just because life gets in the way, job and everything else. But from the time that I actually really started dedicating myself, it was probably a year.
A year, okay.
A good year. That's to write it. And then we started going through the editing process, and that took probably another 6 months or so, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So about a year and a half.
A year and a half. That's an important question. I'll tell you why later.
Okay.
Thank you, Lori.
You're welcome.
And now to Carlita. Can you tell our TV Land people a little about yourself and what you write and why?
Sure. Yes, I guess, share the healthcare industry with Lori. I'm a registered nurse.
Okay.
Been in nursing for a little over 30 years. And, but I've always loved writing. That's always been my passion ever since I was young. I started out with poetry, but I got serious about it about 3 years ago and started to think, well, maybe I can get something published. And so while I don't have a book, I'm sure that's somewhere in the future, I do have short stories that I write. And my first piece was put into the American River Review magazine, which is annually done by American River College. And this actually came out in December, and it was very exciting. I have a short story in there called Window Rain, which talks about growing up with rain and thunderstorms in Biloxi, Mississippi. And so this, I'm just really proud to be. It's an honor to be in here. This is an award-winning magazine. And what they've done this year is they actually have this side that is the literary contributions. And then when you flip it over, this is the artistic contributions. And so it's quite an honor.
You want to open it up and show them a little?
Sure.
Do you know what page you're on?
Actually, yes, I do.
I bet she does.
This is the artwork portion in here, and then when you show the literary side, my story Window Rain is actually, I think, the second one in.
Oh, hold it up so they can
And
see
so
it. There it is.
This is it.
Carlita
Yes.
Cole Kelly.
So I'm very
Congratulations.
honored to have something published in there.
That's where I went to college.
Oh, yes.
Great creative writing.
Yes. I took a creative writing class there last fall, and
Who was
it was
your
very
instructor?
encouraging. Lois and Abraham.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I hope to take more classes there and hone my skills and just keep enjoying writing.
Now, what is this here?
And this one is just brand new, hot off the press. This is a devotional that I have published in the Upper Room magazine.
Wonderful.
And this has been around for many, many years, very well known, and it's actually published in, I think, over 33 languages in 100 countries. And so I was very honored. This was actually a 2-year process from the time that I submitted it until the time that it was put in here. So I'm very excited about it. This is the March-April issue, and what's really interesting is that my devotional will appear for April 9th, and that's a day before my grandmother's birthday, and the devotional is about her.
Is it
Yes.
wonderful?
Yes. So yeah, very excited about finally taking this seriously and getting these publications.
And
in.
are you still nursing or are you retired?
I am still nursing. I will be for several more years. I actually work for the state of California
Oh, you do?
as a
Okay.
nurse consultant. Yes.
Okay. We had a nurse on last month with Mary Ellen. Yeah. And thank you, Carlita. I'm really excited for you. You got TV Land. This is a big deal. American River to be in this review it is an honor. It says a lot for Carlita's writing.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to Jane, and Jane has some exciting news to share and tell us about yourself.
I was the kid who always walked around with the book up against her nose, reading from the earliest time I can remember. And I was my very first publishing success was when I was 8 years old and wrote a story that was published in the newspaper called The Cat.
Clever.
Yes. So ever since then, I said, that's what I want to do. I want to write. Didn't really get serious about it until 2008. And this is a book that will be coming out here in the next week. It is called Because of Grace. And it's a nonfiction book about my journey through my son's death. And it's really written for other mothers who've gone through the same thing, who need to know that God is with them and that there's hope through the journey. So it's called A Mother's Journey from Grief to Hope.
I love
Because
that.
of grace.
Can you tell us about your writing journey with it?
I never thought that I would write nonfiction. I always wanted just to write novels and stories and all of that. So I talked with an editor at a writers' conference, and he said, "Have you ever thought about writing a book about your journey?" And I said, "Well, yeah, but someday." And he said, I think you need to do it. So due to his urging, I wrote the book, and it took me probably a year. And
Did
now
it
here
go
it
through
is.
Lori and critique group?
I don't think so, because
Just the end of it.
yeah, I think just the
End
end.
of it.
Because I was writing something else at the time, a novel.
A novel? Wow. And then do you mind sharing what conference it was?
It was at Oregon Christian Writers up in Oregon.
Break? Oh. We'll be right back. We'll be right back, and we'll go back to Jane. Thank you for joining.